let's say welcome. And who has any wants and needs? Any buyers, any sellers, any celebrations, anything they want to talk about today? Don't be shy now. I'm looking at who's on here. I'm sure everybody has a buyer that needs to find a house, but they don't even want to talk about it because they're so mad.
Well, we're mad about it because there's 30 other offers and it's so hard to get accepted. And so it's like, oh, whatever, it's on the market, but maybe we don't even get to have an opportunity at it. And it's frustrating. So
Right?
I have a buyer that really wants a townhouse under 250, which is really, really stinky because that's really what the condos are going for. And so if we find anything of the sort, like really qualified, very motivated, and we want to stop showing houses.
Right? Oh, it's so hard. One of our agents listed one of those just the other day. She got 31 offers. Oh, crazy, huh? So can you imagine trying to deal with 31 offers? That's so frustrating, huh?
I'm looking for a 3 to 4 bedroom split level, which nobody wants split levels anymore, but these people want a split level, Pleasant Grove area under 425.
455, is that what you said, Derry?
425.
425. Okay. Good to know. Put that on your radar, everybody. Anybody else got anything they want to talk about today?
Hey, I have something. I have a buyer looking for either land or possibly a house already on the land in Walsburg. And actually it could be anywhere in Wasatch County as long as it's a reasonable price. So we've looked and we've called just about everybody we can think of. So if you have anything coming up in Walsburg, please let me know. He's looking for at least 2 acres, but up to 5.
Good to know. What price range is he looking for?
He can go up to about $1.3 million, but that will depend if there was already a house on it. It also depends. Walsburg is a mixed bag. So some of them have electric brought up to the road, some of them are platted, and some of them have propane, some of them have nothing. So, I mean, there's a lot. Some of them need to be annexed. So
Sure.
We're open to different scenarios, but anyway, so if you have anybody who's willing to sell in Walsburg, we're interested.
Good to know. Okay, good. Anybody else have any wants and needs? Okay, well, thank you for piping up, everybody. Let's go to our broker moment. I just wanted to remind everybody that this addendum exists. So when you see on the MLS that they are only offering a, let's just say 1% BAC, and you've already had the conversation with your clients that your buyer broker, says that they cover the remainder of the commission, because you're such good agents and you make sure that you have that conversation with them. But you're also such a good agent and you don't want your buyer to cover that, right? There is this addendum where you can include it in your contract, and that shows your client that you are going to do the best you can to negotiate that commission into the offer. Sometimes agents think that they'll just throw over escrow instructions. Why is that sometimes not safe to put it in escrow instructions? You don't get to answer, Kayla, you're a TC. I'm just kidding. You can answer. Tell us.
Because it's not a part of the contract.
Yeah. And why else? Why?
It's an agreement outside of the contract.
Well, sure. So when it's part of the contract, the seller has to respond, right? When it's not part of the contract, the seller doesn't. He could accept your offer, but doesn't have to respond to the commission escrow instructions, right? So he could say, yeah, we love your offer. We accept. Now, later, we're under contract. Now let's address those commission escrow instructions. We don't like those, and you're left out to dry. So I would suggest highly that you guys get very, very, because in a market like this where it's super competitive, you get very familiar with this addendum. Everyone always forgets it, and it's hard to find on the MLS because it's not under the word commission. we always go in to search for it and go, what's it called again? What's it called again? So take a screenshot right now so you don't forget. I just look for the word brokerage now because it's so hard to find. Real estate brokerage payment. I don't know why they named it that, but this is where you just go in and say seller agrees to pay more. And that way he's forced to address this in the offer. Okay. All right. Moving on. Don't forget our upcoming classes this week. There's no class tomorrow. Next week. But we do have our champions training on Monday. Raising the bar course is all about the disc test. We love learning about the disc because you know how to communicate with all your different clients' personalities. Sales meeting is about smooth closings. Don't ruin a perfectly wonderful relationship. Thursday is home warranties, taught by Kristen Coombs, and it is 2 hours CE. So we get 4 hours CE next week. Don't forget, how exciting is that? Weekly closers this week. Good job, everybody. Looks like we got 35 closings for the week. Everybody, let's do the silent clap. Way to go. Okay, I'm going to turn some time over to our affiliates. I'm going to give 1 minute to Amy at White Knight Insurance. Give us a second, Amy.
Awesome. Thanks, Jen. One of the things that's been brought to our attention is because the market is so competitive that a lot of buyers are foregoing their inspections, their home inspections, or they're not really putting a lot of weight on them because they want the home. But there's a few things that you need to know for insurance that will cause the insurance to be canceled. And that can cause a problem with their financing. And really quick, one is the age of the roof. Okay, they're looking for, insurance inspectors are going to be looking for 18 years or younger in a roof. Peeling exterior paint, overgrown vegetation that either creeps up the home or goes over the roof, yard debris if they're doing any renovations or anything, cracks in the foundation, or it could be even in the walkways or driveways. This causes liability. Missing or damaged downspouts, the water downspouts, if there's not there, that could cause an issue. And railings on steps or decks, they have to be secure, they have to be safe. All these things can have a factor in after the fact of causing insurance to be canceled, and you don't want your buyers or their sellers to be stuck in that situation. So.
Great advice. Thank you, Amy. You are incredible. Don't forget, when you have a buyer, have them get their insurance quoted by Amy at White Knight. They are fantastic, and just say, hey, you might want to check out Amy at White Knight. And we have her phone number in the chat, right, Amy? Throw that in there. Okay, great. Our next one is Mike Johnson at Silverback Home Warranty.
Good morning, everyone. I am up at Brighton. Today's my wife's birthday, so we came skiing, but it's still good to be with you. I just wanted to remind everyone I'm on the community involvement group at the UCAR, and we have a blood drive going on Friday, and it's from 10 to 4. I'll put the information in the chat as far as how to sign up for that if you want to donate blood. It's a good event. We always do a really good job, so make sure you put some time in on Friday between 10 to 4. It's going to be at the UCAR offices. You just walk in, but you can sign up ahead of time. I'll put all the info in the chat. Have a great day, everybody.
You're so awesome, Mike. Thank you. And I hope you have a great day skiing. Tell your wife happy birthday.
I will.
Okay, is Jack Andrews on? I got in so late I didn't notice. I don't see him. Okay. Well, I am going to turn the time over to our educator for the day, and that is Spencer Stott at Unified Lending, and he is teaching managing your database for real estate. Now, Spencer, really quickly, is this a CE class?
Yes, it is.
It is. Cool.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you had told me that over email, and then someone yesterday told me it wasn't. So, okay, great, you guys. That means you have to have your cameras on if you want CE, and you have to be on the class the entire time so that we can get your name and see your faces. You will not get CE, so don't call us yelling at us if we don't see your cameras on. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Spencer. Take it over.
Okay, thank you. And yes, thanks for the opportunity. It's been a long time. It's been maybe a few years, I think. And actually, it's been a little while since I've taught any kind of CE. The whole pandemic and the virus and everything has kind of put that on a shutdown. But yeah, so it's the new rules for CE virtually like this is they're changing. I actually got notice from the Division of Real Estate just this morning that I'll be getting some new direction probably the next couple of months. They're going to make it a little more strict in making sure that we can qualify everybody for CE credit while doing it virtually like this. So for now, this is going to be great. It's approved to do it virtually, and it's for 1 hour. And I'm super excited. So let's jump into it. So this is actually one of my favorite subjects, managing your database, and really just pulling, just mining the gold that really exists in your database, and getting people to call you, getting your phone to ring, getting your emails, you know, your just people getting to reach out to you and wanting some help with their real estate. So honestly, it's the backbone of my business. I've been doing this for about 20 years now. And by the way, I'm a loan guy. I'm a mortgage guy. So look forward to helping you guys down the road as well. The reason why I love teaching these classes for CE is I feel like this is something that I've learned over the years, and I feel like I can give back to you. And I feel like if I'm helping you build your business, I'm probably helping myself build my business right along with you. So looking forward to it. This is a 1 hour class, and I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Hopefully this works. Give me a second. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna start it as a slideshow. Okay. Keep in mind, you guys can ask as many questions as you like. I'm assuming the best way to do this is maybe through chat, the chat box. If you have a question, you're more welcome to unmute yourself and interrupt me if you like. I'm going to pull up my chat box right now so I have it available. Okay, so managing your database, it's really your best secret weapon in this business. Let's see. Okay, it really is the lowest hanging fruit. If you think about it, I'll bet most of you could probably think back. Usually most of your business comes from people that already know, like, and trust you. Would you agree or disagree? They're usually friends of your friends or friends of your relatives, maybe relatives themselves. Maybe you got to know them at the gym, at the grocery store, you know, at church, wherever you go. It's an opportunity for you to get to know people, and then they can be part of your database, and they can also refer people to you. And obviously people that already know, like, and trust you, that have had a good experience with you in the past. These are the best ways to draw business. Of course, there's other ways you can do it, and usually they involve a lot of money, buying leads and things like that, and they're not nearly as fun and easy to convert. So your database is definitely the lowest hanging fruit. I always say this in my classes, and for some people, it's kind of surprising, but we're not really in the real estate business. We are in the marketing to our database business. So a lot of people, you know, if we wake up every morning thinking, what am I going to do today to reach out to my database? What am I going to do to make that personal touch to people so they remember me? And when they need real estate help, they're going to call me. They're going to think of me first. And it's really not about contracts and paperwork. It's about marketing to your database, building relationships, and making friends with people. So 90% of people say they would use their realtor again on their next home purchase. So that means we're doing a really good job, right? Most people say, yes, absolutely, I would use my realtor again. I had a great experience. And there's no question, down the road when I buy or sell again, I'm going to use my realtor again. The next question is, how many people actually do use that same realtor again on their next home purchase? Any ideas what the actual percentage is? Do you think it's 90% of the people actually go back to their agent again and use that same agent?
75.
What's that?
75 is my guess.
Ah, okay. All right. Any other guesses? Ooh, someone typed in 4%. Okay. So
I
the
would say
upper end of the
20.
spectrum. 20. Okay. Well, let's see what we got here. Only 20% actually do. Okay. And these are numbers that are actually generated, through lots of research. This is actual data, right? This is not just something we made up. Why do you think that is? Why do people not go back to their agent? They said they would, almost all of them said they would, but why do they not do that when, 5 years down the road, they actually need to buy a house again? What's the reason?
I'm wondering if sometimes people they move and they're in a different area or get to know a neighbor again that does real estate, or so either due to moving or getting to know a new person, or, there's enough time that goes by from the last time they used and that realtor didn't keep in contact, maybe those things.
Okay, good. I think there's a key thing you said right there. The realtor didn't keep in contact. And when I'm talking about keeping in contact, someone keyed into the chat box, lost contact info. Okay, great. They lost your contact info. What's the best way that they don't lose your contact? How do we make it so they don't lose your contact info, right? So the best ways to stay in contact. And I'm not talking about giving them a phone call once a week. I'm not talking about, doing some crazy things every month, every week, where it costs money and tons of time. But there's ways we can do this to streamline it, make it easy, make it free, make it so you're not burdening them or you're bugging them. And that's what this class is made for, is to hopefully you can get some of these ideas and implement them in your systems with your database management. And on average, 5% of your database will need real estate help each year, 5% each year. So basically what it's saying is, let's say you have a list of 100 people in your database. What's 5% of 100 people? That's 5, right? 5% of 200 people is 10. So 5% of 500 people would be 25 people. So it really is a numbers game. The more people you have on your list, the more people that are in your database, the more business you have. And it's really just a matter of reaching out to them and making that point of contact. I would assume an additional 25 units or closings a year would probably be pretty nice, right? Maybe a little bit life-changing to have an extra income bump. So let's talk about it. Here's a lifetime value of a client. This is just, and these numbers are really conservative. I think an average gross commission, this is probably on the low end, right? $7,500 for average gross commission. I'm assuming we make more, right? Maybe if a contract is 300,000, 3% would be 9,000, right? 400. So you got the numbers, but we'll just make it conservative and say the average gross commission on a transaction is 7,500. So the initial purchase, you make 7,500 bucks. Awesome. Okay. Then maybe future purchase down the road. So let's say that particular client is going to buy 2 more times in their lifetime. That's 2 more purchases of 7,500 each. And that's $15,000. Okay. Now, what about referrals? So let's say 1 out of every 5 refers. Okay. That means every client is worth 1/5 of a transaction. So that would be $1,500 would be 1/5 of $7,500. You guys following? That would mean the lifetime value of a client is $24,000. For one client with managing your database, you will make $24,000 off the one client. Okay. Let's talk about income potential of managing a database. Let's say you manage a database of 150 people. And we're going to talk about this in a little bit. I'm going to assume that most everybody knows 150 people, and we'll talk about how to get those people in a little bit, but let's say your database is 150. Remember that people move every 7 years, typically. 1/7 of your database is moving. So that means 1/7 of 150 people is going to be moving this year. That gives you 21 transactions and an average gross commission of $7,500 per transaction. That's $157,000 in commission in 1 year off of a list of 150 people. Again, these are conservative numbers. And this doesn't even count referrals, right? So if only 10% of the 150 people referred, that's 15 more transactions, right? So that would be another $112,000 still operating off of a list of 150 people that you already know, that they already like and trust you. Okay. $270,000 just from effective client marketing. So I know you guys have maybe looked at these numbers before and crunched numbers and whatnot, but this is real life. It's just all about it. It's a numbers game, and it's just gathering your database and getting as many people in there as you can. Okay. What if you don't have a list? A lot of people feel like, I don't have a list. I don't know that many people. I guarantee you know at least 200 people, okay? Think about it. So family and friends, think about all the people you might invite if you were getting married or your son or your daughter's getting married. How many people do you invite, okay? If you sat down and made a list, like actually dedicated 2 or 3 hours of your day just making a list of people that you know that you might invite to a wedding of a family member, I guarantee you'll come up with a lot of people. Maybe not 200, maybe so. Think of every possible service and industry. Think about every person that's ever come to your house. Anytime you've had plumbing help or electrician come to your house or your carpets cleaned, any type of service or industry, these are people that have had contact with you that you can get on your list. And the average Facebooker, if you can say that word, Facebooker, if that's a real word, Facebook average friends is about 300 people on Facebook. Okay, I've seen people with 5,000 friends on Facebook. I've seen people with, fewer than 300, but typically the average is about 300 people on Facebook. And if you want to find out how many people you know, just go on Facebook. They have somehow figured out how you know people, and they get them right in front of your face, and they say, this person, become their friend, and you request to be their friend, and they've got that figured out. So that's a really easy way to get a list of people in your database. Okay, LinkedIn, a great resource. Email contacts, you can go back in your email, and most email platforms do this, where they keep a cache of all the emails you've actually used and sent out to people over the months or years you've been using that particular email address on that platform. You can go back in the back end of the email platform and get a list of all those emails you've ever sent and put those emails in your list. And there's probably more than you think there are, and maybe even hundreds. So that's a good way to grab a list. Okay. Now, when talking, now that we have our list of people, now I can't stress the importance of that. We got to get a list. Step one, get a list. Okay. And then once we have our list, then we start marketing to them. They become our database. Now there are the traditional basics. Now these are the things that have been around for decades, and not saying they don't work. Some of them do. There's ways you can do these few things that are traditional in maybe a more effective way, and we'll talk about that as well. But there are also some new age stuff using technology and all that. So we'll talk about those. But traditional basics. Get on the phone, give them a call 3 times a year. Now, the only problem I see with this, and maybe you've seen this as well. Now, I'm not saying this to discourage you from calling. I still make calls. It's a very good strategy, but I have found that a lot of people, and this is again my opinion based on my experience, a lot of people just prefer not to talk on the phone. I don't know. Would you guys agree? I think maybe it's a generational thing. Maybe it's a certain demographic, but I think just, I don't know what it is. Maybe people are busy. They don't have the time. But typically a lot of folks don't like to answer the phone if they don't feel like they need to talk to you or if they don't know who you are. All right. So not to say that calling is bad. You also have an opportunity to leave a voicemail, which is a good thing. But the next thing would be email. And we're going to talk about this in a minute, but email is one way to reach out. This is a very traditional way, and it's one of the basic ways of reaching out to people. And then of course, snail mail, that's using the United States Postal Service, putting a stamp on a letter and mailing it out to people, and they get it, you know, in 2 or 3 days. So that's a very traditional way to do it, but not to say it's bad. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Here's some other stuff we're going to talk about, some more next level stuff, Facebook strategies. I actually have a CE class dedicated just to Facebook and how to reach out to people and using Facebook as a tool for real estate. It's a 2-hour CE class. So I could probably go off for a long time on Facebook, but we don't have that time today. Friending everybody, you know, there's business pages and whatnot on Facebook. There's Facebook ads, and that's a great way to be active and engaging with people on Facebook and other social media like, you know, Instagram and different platforms that you can be active on. Video is another way we can reach out to people, and video is actually really, really effective. And maybe one of the scariest ways of reaching out to people, because it's kind of an unknown and people don't like to put themselves out there on video. And I actually have a CE class that I'm going to do. It's actually scheduled with you guys here next month, dedicated just to video marketing. So I'm not going to spend too much time on video, but it's also a great way to reach out to people using video. Text messaging. Do any of you use text messaging with your database management already? Has anybody had good experience and feedback with using text messaging to reach out to people? Okay. We're going to talk a little bit more about text messaging, and then client appreciation events. That's also effective. Maybe not so much right now because of COVID, but it has been in the past, at least for us. Pop-by gifts is a unique way of doing things as well. We'll talk about that. Let's talk about calling people on the phone. This is one of the traditional strategies. What about people that you haven't really spoken to in a few years? Okay. Are they going to be really bugged if I actually call them and I haven't talked to them for a long, long time? Is it going to be weird if I call them and out of the blue be like, hey, remember me? You know, so people think about you a whole lot less than you think they do. Okay. Avoid call reluctance, just call them. Okay. And it also helps to have reasons to call. Okay. Honestly, I think people kind of expect their real estate agent to reach out to them. It almost is like, why didn't she reach out to me? Right. Because it's kind of your job. It's kind of what you do. You reach out to people, you're building relationships, you're asking for referrals. And I think it's totally fine if you call them and you haven't talked to them for a couple of years. But of course, it helps to have a reasons to call. So like maybe call them on their birthday. You know, happy birthday. Maybe it's a daylight savings call. Just, hey, you know, just want to give you a quick reminder. Don't forget to set your clocks back. It's daylight savings this weekend. And oh, by the way, do you know anybody else that wants to buy or sell their home? We'd love to help them. It's a crazy good market right now. We'd love to help them. So, and that's another reason to call. Maybe on the anniversary of when they bought their house every year. Hey, just wanted to give you a call. It's been a year. Can you believe it? It's your anniversary since you bought your house. So I just want to congratulate. How's the year been? Have you had a good experience? Tell me all about it. You know, these are just calls you can make and build a relationship, and it's a reason for you to call them. Maybe it's a market update. You know, people are really curious about how the market is right now. They've heard stories, but maybe they haven't heard it directly from a professional like you. What's the market like? What's it like if I were to list my house? How's that go down? If I want to buy a house, what do we need to do so we can to get under contract? Now, a market update. Maybe it's a Christmas phone call, for the holiday. Maybe it's a 4th of July call or something like that. Or maybe you're announcing a client appreciation event that you're holding next month. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Again, if you have questions, feel free to chime in or type in the chat box. The key, though, is to put that date and time for your 3 calls this year in your calendar. So it's usually not everybody's favorite thing to do, to make phone calls, but the trick is to get it in your time block it, get it in your calendar, time block that hour or even 30 minutes a day, where you have some dedicated time just to make a few phone calls. And if you're doing that every day or 2 or 3 times a week, you're going to get through your list and then you'll be done. And I guarantee you'll get some positive feedback and maybe even some referrals. Okay. Now, for those of you that have a lot of people in your database, maybe 300 people or more, there's ways you can do these phone calls to make it really easy, where you're not actually physically dialing, with your fingers, dialing the number one at a time and waiting for the phone to ring and waiting for them to pick up. And if they don't pick up, you leave a voicemail, then you hang up and then you dial the next one. So that kind of takes a lot of time if you've got 300 or 500 people or 1,000 people to call. There are systems in place to make those phone calls really easy and slick and fast. Lots of different systems. I've used one called Phone Burn. That's why I put it on here. I'm the most familiar with this one. Like literally, I upload my list into Phone Burner. I push play, and there's a lot of other things that go into this with the technology, but I push play and I sit on the phone and I wait for somebody to answer. I'm not dialing the numbers. I push play on the list. Phone Burner dials all the numbers. If someone doesn't pick up the phone, then it leaves a pre-recorded voice message that I've already done. I pre-record a voice message that it leaves for me on their phone. And then it's down to the next one already. And then only when someone actually picks up the phone, then I'm ready and I talk to them with a live phone call. And then when we're done, I push play again and so on. So you literally can get through the names so fast. And imagine what your business would look like if you made an additional 300 calls a month. And it took a total of about 5 hours or about 1 hour and 15 minutes a week. So, 300 calls a month. I'm telling you right now, you would be so busy with leads and homes to sell and whatnot. I'm telling you, you'd be wondering where you're going to find the time to do all of it. And you'd be wanting to hire assistants and everything else to help you. But it's an amazing strategy. Phone Burner works really well. And it's one of those things that it's been around for a long time, is just basically calling people on the phone. Okay, let's talk about email and snail mail. First off, email. If you do it, make sure it's automated. Does anybody know what the average open rate for email is? So there's an open rate where people, if you get your email, it's really easy just to delete those emails, right? Sometimes they get opened, but does anybody know that average open rate? Or okay, 3%. Yeah, it's pretty low. That sounds about right. I've heard 3, I've heard 10%, but it's not very good. Okay, that's why if you do email, don't do it yourself. Don't spend the time to create an email to send out to people and email it out yourself. You might do it once or twice, but I'm telling you, it's a waste of time. And it's not something you're gonna do for the next 2 or 3 or 5 years, because you just won't. If you're gonna do email, not to say it's bad, but if you're gonna do email, make sure it's automated, okay? There are systems in place, and I'm assuming some of you might already have systems in place that automate email marketing, where you just upload your list, push play, and you set it and forget it, where it just, the content's already made, And every single month, the email goes out automatically. You don't have to go in yourself and send the email. It's done for you automatically. Does anybody have this set up already with their systems? Anybody have an email system that's automated? There's got to be somebody who has an automated email system. Okay. Okay, we have one person says yes. Thank goodness. So the trick is, don't send real estate info all the time. Okay. People already know you're a real estate agent, and unless they're buying a house sometime the next few months or selling their house, they probably are not dying to learn about real estate facts and information all the time. What they want is stuff they can actually use. Maybe they can get a good laugh at. Maybe it's something really educational, maybe inspirational that has nothing to do with real estate. Those are the types of things when people get, they appreciate and they remember you better because it's something different. So that's kind of the trick. And this is the same for social media as well. If you want to get into social media marketing and be engaging and reach out to people, I wouldn't send real estate stuff. I wouldn't post real estate stuff all the time. Post everything but real estate, but make sure it's interesting and engaging and funny or inspirational. And then that's what people want to see and how they'll remember you. Okay. And try to farm this stuff out as much as you can, meaning anything you can do that's you're not doing yourself. I say automate it. If it's automated, then that's the best way to do it. For me, if I'm not doing it, then it's automated. If I have somebody else doing it, then I may be paying somebody else to do it for me, or it's somebody else's job to do it for me, or a system that I purchased that's going to do it for me. That's automated because I'm not the one doing it. Okay. Because you have more important things to do. Like, there are things you can pay other people $5 or $10 an hour to do that are actually $5 or $10 an hour type activities. You are worth a lot more than $5 or $10 an hour. You are worth hundreds of dollars per hour, which is what you make when you sell a home with the commissions you make. So farm that stuff out. And then focus on the activities that are actually hundreds of dollars per hour worth activities. Okay, so here is a list of things. Now I'm going to tell you there are a lot more than these. Like, you could just go on Google and type in CRM for real estate agents, and CRM stands for Contact Relationship Management System. These are the things that you can have to manage your database, to manage the people, to manage the birthdays, to manage the emails that go out automatically. People through these systems, send videos through these systems, the set it and forget it type of systems where you just push play and you can walk away knowing that your database is being managed and being contacted on a regular basis, and you don't have to think about doing it yourself. Like I said, there's dozens of these. These are just a few. I noticed that one person on here uses Realty Juggler, which is awesome. Is there anybody else that uses anything that might not be on this list that we could share? Okay, Pro Agent, awesome. Google, nice. Yeah. Yeah, so these are great examples. So I would recommend, each one has a different price point. Each one does things a little bit differently. Maybe just spend a little bit of time researching a few of these, find one that fits your budget and find one that's going to do things that you want to focus on, and then implement it in your business. Get your database, get your list, and get it in there, and have the drips continue and start reaching out to people, and people will remember you because these systems are taking care of it for you. Another one, Wise Agent. Okay, great. All right, let's touch on video a little bit. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing a video class next month. It's a 1-hour CE class. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this right now, but video is really good. Does anybody already use video possibly in their marketing? Has anybody used video with their marketing before? Don't speak up all at once. Somewhat, okay. So like I said before, video is, it's kind of an unknown. It's been around for a long time, but it's also one of those things that are a little bit scary maybe to get, so a lot of people have camera shyness and all that, which is fine. I have a little bit of I had a lot of camera shyness when I first started doing video. You could ask my wife and some stories about my camera shyness, and it's not good, but I've been able to overcome that a little bit. And video, in my opinion, video is king. People get to know you and your personality through video, and they actually get to know you without even having to meet you face to face. They feel like they have a connection with you and your personality and maybe your family or whatever you do in that video. And they can somewhat build a relationship with you without even having to meet you, and they can actually gain a sense of trust through the video. It's really cool. But here's some video ideas. Maybe a thank you video. So think about all the times you say thank you, right? Maybe you're saying thank you to a client for trusting you to sell their house. How would you normally say thank you? Maybe a phone call. Hey, thanks. I really appreciate your trust. That's nice. A phone call is good. Maybe an email. I'm gonna submit that a thank you video is kind of taking it to the next level, and it doesn't need to be fancy. Even just a 10-second thank you video that you can just do on your phone. These phones that we have are amazing, right? Like they're amazing. We all have a really, really good camera on our phones. Just record a 10-second video and text it to whoever you want to thank, but do it so they can see your face. The image that they see with your face makes an imprint in their brain, and they just don't forget it. And they'll forget a phone call, they'll forget an email, but they won't forget a video. Okay. Maybe do a video on something happening with the home buying process. Think about all the times that you've explained the process of a home inspection. Like maybe you're getting sick of it. Like that same conversation. This is a home inspection. This is why we do it. This is the cost. This is how long it's going to take. This is what they look for. This is what you need to be worried about. This is what you don't need to be worried about. These are things that you probably have a conversation with everybody, and maybe you're getting sick of it, maybe not. But maybe we make a video about a home inspection, even get your actual home inspector and take a 2 or 3 minute video and just talk about inspections, everything you need to know about inspections. And then when you get to that point in that relationship where they're going to get an inspection, send them the inspection video, boom. And you're not having to explain anything over and over again. Okay. Same thing for the appraisal process. Maybe a real estate purchase contract, making an offer, maybe get with your mortgage guy and explain the pre-approval process through video, and then send that video to everybody when they're looking to get pre-approved. This is why I need to get pre-approved. This is what we do. This is the process of getting, this is what we need to get pre-approved. These are the documents. This is what we learn when you're pre-approved. We talk about credit. We talk about, monthly payments and how much you're approved for and possible down payment options and everything else. So a video would really do a lot of good with this process. And then they can refer back that video again and again and again when they have more questions, instead of calling you each time. Okay. So that's an idea. Maybe same idea with the thank you video, maybe a congratulations video, a congratulations text, a video text. I used to do this more often, but a weekly or monthly video tip. So you can make it real estate related. I'd recommend doing a weekly or monthly video tip that's not real estate related, maybe something that they could really either get a kick out of or really use in their daily life. Maybe I've heard of people doing, a monthly app, a phone app. What's the best phone app you've found this last month, and let everybody know about it. Talk about that app. Maybe it's something around the house that they can use. And I did one video one time that I thought might be funny, but it ended up being the best, meaning the most engaging video I've ever done. It was part of my monthly video tip collection, and it was how to peel a banana. Okay, everybody knows how to peel bananas, but there's a good way and there's a better way to peel a banana, and there's actually the way that monkeys peel bananas. I actually spent some time in Thailand over a year ago, and I ran into some monkeys over there, and I watched them peel a banana, and they were really good at it. They knew how to navigate a banana better than anything I've ever seen. So there's one traditional way we peel a banana. That's at the stem, right? The stem where it connects to the rest of the bunch. And if the banana is a little bit green, then it's maybe harder to break that stem and peel it off. But if you turn the banana over and go to the other tip where the blossom was, you just pinch the blossom end and it just literally just comes apart, regardless of if the banana is ripe or green or whatever. And I did a video on that, and it was crazy. I had so many people love the video and made comments, and I got a lot of engagement through that one video. It was funny and people appreciated it. But that's an example of what you can do for a monthly video tip. And of course, it had nothing to do with real estate. And then at the end of the video, I just said, hey, by the way, if you need any help with your home, your mortgage, buying or selling your house, let me know. I'd love to help you. And that's all you got to do. Remind them who you are, but the bulk of the video, the meat, is something they can actually use or laugh at. Okay. We've talked about video text. That's kind of a big deal. Video emails. Email is a little bit more effective when you can say that there's a video in it. Like even this in the subject line of the email, if you mention that there's a video in the email, you're going to get a little bit higher open rate. Okay. A quick tip about video editing. I don't think you need to worry about editing video too much, but if you do want to get in some editing, there's a system called Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. It's a platform where people from all over the world solicit their services on Fiverr, and everything they're doing is cost of $5. Sometimes they're $10, but most of it is $5. And all you got to do is go to the main page of Fiverr, type in edit video in the search box. And in this scenario, there were 1,700 people who are willing to edit your video for $5. So instead of you spending the hours it might take to figure out your video editing software to get a video ready to go to send out, just spend $5 and have somebody else do it for you. And I can't, talk about value of time, 2 hours of your own time or $5 of somebody else's time, right? It's just a no-brainer to me. Here's some examples of videos I did in the past, how to store brown sugar, everyday uses of clothespins, how to burglar-proof your garage. This is one that I did I call it my About Me video, where people can go to my website. I also have it in my emails, pretty much anywhere they see me online. There's a link there they can see this video, and they get to know me on a personal level with my kids and my wife, and what I like to do for hobbies and for fun, and I'm at my house and things like that. So that's been a really good video. People feel like they're getting to know me through the video, and kind of breaks down those barriers. And so if you don't have an About Me video, that's maybe a good one to start with, so people can get to know you. And then you just put it on your website. You put it on, in your email signature, where there's a link there they can click on and look at your video to get to know you, things like that. So just some examples. All right, let's talk about snail mail strategies. Now, before I go any further, does anybody have questions? I've kind of been talking a lot and going through a bunch of information. Does anybody have any questions they want me to maybe go deeper on? I gotta say, it's a little different teaching in this setting. Typically in the past, we've obviously done it in a classroom setting, and and this is great. We have technology to do it this way, but feel free to reach out if you have questions and want me to expand on anything. Has anybody ever heard of send? Oh, okay, here we go. I got a question. Did you buy a camera to record your videos, or did you use your phone? I just use my phone. You could go to Best Buy and spend you know, hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars on a really, really nice camera, you could, and it would work, but you don't need to. These cameras here are amazing. So I just got the new iPhone 12, and I got it because the camera is really good. Even though the iPhone 11 camera was still really good, this is even better. But anyways, you know, the cell phones that we have are amazing. You don't need to go buy another phone or a different camera. Just use your cell phone. Okay, another question. What is the best way to do automated emails? Good question. So if what I'm going to do is I'm going to send out a PDF of this entire presentation with all these slides, so you guys can refer back to. I'll just email it out to everybody so you can refer back to it and all these ideas. But you know, the best way to automate emails, a few slides back, we had that CRM list where you can go and pay for some automation platforms where you can automate your emails and whatnot. Lots of different ways and different platforms you can get into, and different amounts you could spend depending on how much you wanted to do with those platforms. But I would say just do a little bit of research yourself and find one that fits your budget and whatnot, and find a way to automate your emails. Okay, so let's talk about sensations. I've had one person mention that sensations is awesome. Sounds like somebody in here has had experience with sensations. It's a monthly postcard. Okay, this is one of those set it and forget it things too. So you know, everybody's seen those recipe postcards that go out, and as cheesy as they might seem, I guarantee you, if you send a postcard out once per month, so there's 12 postcards going out once a month for the whole year, there will be of those 12, almost everybody will get a postcard and think, oh, that looks like a really good recipe. I'm going to keep that recipe for when I want to make that. And they're going to take that postcard and put it in their kitchen drawer, and it's going to be there for years. And the best part about it is you're on that postcard, your face, your contact info, your email, everything. So they know where to find you. Now, there's gonna be a lot of postcards they don't really want. They're gonna throw it away, but there'll be one or two of those recipes that they get that they love and they refer back to, and it goes right in their kitchen drawer. So Sensations is that service where you can send out a monthly recipe postcard. If you don't want to do recipes, they have other options that don't involve recipes. You can do fridge magnets, you know, with calendars and things like that. They've got a whole slew of options for you. But what you do is you just upload your list of people, your database with their addresses, and you just pay for the printing up front, which is actually not that bad. If you were to go to Kinko's or anywhere else to get the printing done, it might actually be cheaper. But Sensations has this down, and this is what they do, and so they make it very cost effective. And so you just upload your list, you pay for the printing upfront for the entire year. So the one fee up front, and then you pay monthly for the postage. And it's just a postcard, so it's less, it costs less for a postcard, but you just get billed monthly for the postage, and someone else does it for you. You just set it and forget it, and you can walk away and it's being done for you. And then you get to enjoy the phone calls when they call you and comment on your recipes and tell you that they wanted to you know, buy a new house or sell their house. So Sensation's a great option. They're actually located here in Utah, but they market nationwide. Okay, it's a really big nationwide company, but they're locally here. The I Like You campaign is a unique strategy. We're going to talk about that in a second, and then bulky envelope. So let's go forward and talk about the I Like You. So actually, I'm gonna back up one. Really quick, I know we're maybe running short on time. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but there's a story about a car salesman. He was designated as the best car salesman in the country, in the whole United States. Apparently, there's a way they can track that, and they give out awards for that. But he made it to the top. He sold the most cars. He did so good. He was just a really, really good car salesman. Okay. And they asked him what his secret was. What makes you so successful as a car salesman? What do you do so we all can do the same thing? Why are you so successful? And he just said, well, I just tell people I like them. And they said, well, what do you mean you just say that you like them? He says, well, that's just it. I say, I like you. He literally hand wrote a card and said, I like you, handwritten on a handwritten envelope, and sent it to them once a month. That's it. Said, I like you, and signed his name and sent it to him. It sounds really, really creepy, but that's what he did. And he made a killing. He sold so many cars and made so much money. And we call it the I Like You campaign, where it doesn't take much. It's a handwritten card. And this is what they look like. Okay. The envelope, and then the interior of the card, I like you, signed Carl. So this is what they call the I Like You campaign. I know it sounds weird. You can mix it up if you want to do this. Maybe not I like you every single time. Maybe do I appreciate you, or maybe you are awesome, or maybe Merry Christmas. You know, anything you want to put in there, but just something where it's very simple and you're just reminding them that you're there and you're ready to help them when they need help. Okay. All right. Let's talk about snail mail, another form of snail mail. So I actually do this strategy even still today. It actually works out really good for us in our office. I make the envelopes bulky. So if you think about it, it's really easy when you get your mail each day and you look at that stack of mail, and you're like, okay, most of the stuff I don't want to look at, you just throw it in the garbage. Okay, that's what everybody does. But if there happens to be an envelope that's bulky, meaning there's something in it that's making it bulge, and you're like, what in the world is in this envelope? It makes you want to open it, right? It's very simple, but if the envelope is bulky, it's a very high likelihood that your envelope will get opened and they will look at it. So you don't have to do something big, but just something simple. So for example, maybe a piece of candy, maybe some pennies, you know, a sugar packet. You know, for Halloween one time we did what's that? I'm drawing a blank. There's a piece of candy, an Airhead. It's really long and skinny. It costs maybe 10 cents. And if you buy them in bulk, it's even less expensive, but it's a piece of candy. You put it in an envelope for Halloween, and I got a ton of people saying that was so funny and I appreciated the candy. My daughter loved it and whatever, but they opened the envelope and they saw us with, you know, saying Happy Halloween. Okay. You know, we do one for the for springtime. I'll usually send out like a packet of seeds that you can plant in the springtime, like flowers and whatnot, daisies or whatever. They're really cheap. You can buy them in bulk online, like 20 cents or 50 cents a packet. And you put them in there and people see this and then they want to open it and see what it is. And if you do this consistently, then people get used to getting a little teeny gift in the mail from you and they open it every single time and they actually look forward to it. And so not to say that other snail mail is bad, but you'll be a little bit more successful if you just add a little bit something to it and make the envelope a little bulky, and then they're gonna want to open it. Okay. Okay, any questions? Okay. Let's talk about text messaging. Guaranteed 100% open rate, okay? It's fast for you and them. What about a monthly text? Maybe something inspirational or funny. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to a real estate agent where that's all they do is send out a text message. That's all they do is send out text message like once a month. And maybe you can organize it where maybe the first day of the month you do the A's. Every A name on your list is your Monday text for that, or that first day of the month. And then the B names are the second day and whatnot. Then you just spend like an hour or two having simple conversations on your text message on your phone, and reaching out to people. And in my opinion, this is actually better than a phone call. Honestly, people appreciate a text message, and it's a great way to reach out. You can be funny. You can be, you can send them newsworthy events. You can ask how they're doing. How was their their Christmas or whatever, but have something that you send to them and engage in a conversation with them. And it's super easy. And then you're always going to be top of mind. And then you're always going to be towards the top of their text message list, right? If they ever want to reach out to you, they know where to find you because you texted them, okay? Maybe a happy birthday text, a video text. We talked about that, right? So video texts are super easy. Shoot a quick video and send it out to them in a text. There's lots of different texting app software. A lot of CRMs we talked about earlier. A lot of those CRMs have texting capability where you can actually text through the software, where you're actually typing on your computer and it's getting sent out as a text, and they can be part of your drip campaign. A text will go out automatically as a drip, like an email would be part of a drip campaign, but this is a text. So there's different ways you can use software to make texting easier and more efficient. Okay, client appreciation events. Another thing you can do. We enjoy these. We always do the theater rentals, and it's very, you can do like the megaplex theaters have the $5 Tuesdays, and so we always made it cheap and did the $5 Tuesday night theater rental. It's the best kind of phone call to make when you can say, hey, thank you for being a client. I want to make sure that you guys get a couple of tickets to this movie we have at our client appreciation event. So this was a picture of an event we did a little while ago, and it worked out great. Other ideas, maybe a carnival in the park, not at the pumpkin patch, you're helping them buy pumpkins if you want. Maybe go in on it with other agents together and split the cost and bring all invite all your database, all your people together in the same group. Maybe bring in other, industries, maybe your insurance agent. I know that title companies have this weird rule where they can't be part of it and spend certain amounts of money and all that. I don't know all the stuff that goes into that, but title companies can be hard sometimes. But maybe your home inspector, or I mentioned insurance agent, things like that. Home warranty company, things like that. They can go in on this with you and take advantage of the event with you. So Top Golf, everybody loves Top Golf, but it is kind of expensive. So just be ready to pay a lot of money as you do a Top Golf event. So the value is not in the event itself, but rather the phone calls telling them about the event and asking for the business beforehand. And also the phone calls after the event, thanking them for coming and asking for the business again. So the value, it's rare that I get a deal or a lead at the event, but I get a lot of referrals in the months leading up to the event, making those phone calls, inviting him, telling him about it, and then asking for business in those phone calls. Okay, there's other things you can do. Slide dial. Has anybody heard of slide dial? Anybody know about slide dial? Okay. There's a slide dial and slide broadcast. That means you can actually leave, it's a ringless voicemail. So you can call somebody knowing that it will not ring on their end. They don't have a chance to pick up the phone, so you don't have to talk to them, but it goes right to their voicemail. And sometimes this is really effective, okay? I use this actually quite a bit. If I need to leave a message and I don't need to talk to somebody, but I need to get the message to them, I'll do a slide dial. I've used it before with, Merry Christmas or Happy Birthday, phone calls, things like that. But it's a really effective way. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it's not very expensive either. Slide broadcast is the exact same thing as slide dial, but slide broadcast is where you do the ringless voicemail to an entire group of people. You can send out a pre-recorded voice message to 5,000 phone numbers in one click. You just upload 5,000 phone numbers. Your pre-recorded voice message is left on everybody's voicemail, and it didn't ring on their end. They just think they had a missed call. So a great way to have a quick touch to a lot of people it's just a few minutes. Okay, pop by gifts. Popbyideas.com is a great resource, but things like these are things where you can just basically you get a really cheap gift, and then have a little saying or phrase on it that makes them laugh, but they appreciate the gift. So for example, buy a snowman making kit, and you could say on the kit, you could say there's snow business like your referred business. Okay. Or maybe you could do a bird feeder, and you could say, don't let your next real estate deal ruffle your feathers. And these are things you can send them in the mail, or you could drop by on their house, drop by at their house and knock on their door, leave it on their doorstep, whatever. A Kleenex pocket tissue. Nobody knows the real estate market like I do. Chapstick. Don't let your friends, let's see. Don't let your friends get chapped on their next real estate transaction. Make sure they get the protection they deserve, and don't let my name be too far from your lips. Okay. So these might seem a little bit cheesy, but they actually work. Okay. These are pop-by gifts. Hand sanitizer for a healthy real estate transaction, call Jen. Okay. These are really inexpensive gifts, but people appreciate it. And it's kind of a funny thing you can write on there, and it's just a great conversation starter. Okay. So we're just about done here. Do you guys ever feel like this guy? I know there's a lot of things you have to do in real estate. Do you ever feel like you're wearing a lot of hats and doing a lot of different things all at the same time? Your time is being pulled in 10 different directions. You have a lot of responsibility. Do you ever feel like this? I know sometimes it's easy to feel like this, but or maybe you feel like this. Maybe this is the goal. Maybe this is what you want to feel like. Now, the difference between this guy and this guy is doing, he's leading he's conducting, he's leading a group of people. He's making really, really beautiful music. Is this guy making really good music? Probably not. Probably not. This guy is. So here's the question. Which person makes better music? Which person makes more money? Which person has more freedom? Time freedom, financial freedom, or even relationship freedom? So I know we're basically self-employed, but don't be afraid, even if it's just a part-time. Maybe you share the services of somebody else. You share, and maybe you grab a few agents in the office, and you get an assistant. You all share in the cost, and they help each of you implement some of these strategies. Would you rather have 100% of a grape or 50% of a watermelon? So the idea is, don't be afraid to treat this business like a business. It costs money to make money lots of times, usually. Okay. If you can put $20 bills in a machine with a guarantee of getting $100 bills back, I'm gonna put $20 bills in that machine all day and all night to get $100 bills back. And this is something that I learned a long time ago, but I know that if I tried to be like this guy, I wouldn't make very good music, and nobody would like me. I wouldn't do a very good job doing mortgage loans if I didn't have help. And I'm sure that it would be the same thing with most real estate agents as well. So to summarize, make phone calls, snail mail and email, make sure it's automated, video, social media, text messaging, client appreciation events, pop-by gifts. Remember to automate as much as you can. Maybe get somebody to help you, but get an assistant. You can get these, I didn't mention this, but you can get these virtual assistants from overseas for $2 or $3 an hour, and they're really, really good. So I can help you with that. If you need help, just reach out to me. But automate it the best you can. Have someone else do it for you, and be consistent. Pick one or two things, master them before moving on, and remember that 5% rule. 5% of your database is going to need help this year, guaranteed. Okay. Hopefully, you guys picked one or two things out of this last hour, and you're able to that maybe was part of resonated with you, and you can implement and move forward. And of course, I'm always here to help. I'm a mortgage guy, but most importantly, I'm here to help you guys build your business, because I know if I help you guys build, then I'm probably going to build mine right along with you. So I'd love to help. If you have questions or you need some assistance in getting something done or whatever to get this implemented, let me know. And yeah, look forward to hearing from you. So I believe that's it. So thank you. Sorry, one